Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Unit 3, the essay. This oral presentation will focus on the following items: what is an essay, types of essays, general structure of an essay, essay outline, writing the introduction, writing the body paragraphs, writing the conclusion, and finally editing the essay. Now, for today, we will focus on how to write the introduction. You have to put in mind that there is a big difference between the essay and the paragraph, between writing an essay and writing a paragraph. In a paragraph, you write a topic sentence and then you proceed to write a number of supporting details that will back up your main idea, and of course with plenty of extenders and examples if you want to. But basically, you do not just start your paragraph with information that is not that are not related to your topic sentence or to the content of your paragraph. You just introduce maybe your paragraph with one sentence or two, and that's it. But when you write an essay, you have to write a whole paragraph that functions as an introduction to your essay. This paragraph should have three important elements. It should have a thesis, the main idea, the framework of your essay. It should include a hook, a sentence or a number of sentences which will attract the attention of the reader and convince him or her that this essay is worthy of consideration. And number three, you'll have some connecting information that will facilitate the transition between the general hook, or we can say facilitate the transition between the hook and the thesis. The hook is a bit general, the thesis is specific, so connecting information will help the reader connect the hook to the thesis. Now, how to start writing the introduction? I will say you have to write the thesis first. Now, the construction of the introduction, or in the actual construction of the introduction, you write the hook first, then some connecting information, then finally, or almost by the end of the paragraph, or the introductory paragraph, you write your thesis or state your thesis. On the level of thinking, you have to think of the thesis first, because your job is to decide on the main framework for your essay, and then according to this main framework or this main idea, you can decide on an appropriate hook, a hook which is suitable to the idea you want to discuss. So start with writing the thesis of your essay, because it will help you focus, and number two, you will decide right from the beginning the content of your body paragraphs. Let us say you want to write the introduction for an essay about your favorite hobbies. Now this is your topic. A general outline of this introduction. Now we will write an outline for this introduction, not for the whole essay, just for the introduction. Such an introduction which should include a hook, as we said, some connecting information, and definitely your thesis or main idea. The thesis could be something like this: I love reading novels, writing poetry, and painting portraits. These are my hobbies: reading, writing, and painting. This thesis is made up of three sentences, if you can just isolate the components of the sentence. I love reading novels, writing poetry, and painting portraits is basically built up of sentences like these ones I have here in front of you. I read novels, I love writing poetry, painting portraits is one of my hobbies. So this is just examples of the sentences or the ideas that might come to your mind while you are thinking of phrasing or writing your thesis. Don't be alarmed, just write the sentences as they are, write the ideas as they are, and then we can think of a way to combine them into a compound sentence or a complex sentence that will reflect the ideas you want to discuss in the rest of the essay. The thesis should be a well-developed sentence. So as you've seen earlier, I love reading novels, writing poetry, and painting portraits is a well-developed sentence. It is made up of several ideas. I love reading painting portraits is one of my hobbies, etc. So it's made up of several ideas so that it reflects the content of the body paragraphs of your essay. You just put it there in your introduction at the beginning of your essay, so the reader will read it and know or expect the ideas you are going to discuss in the rest of your essay. Another important point, when forming the thesis as a compound sentence, like in the example above, you should pay attention to parallel structures. Let's look at the statement again. These are the ideas as they come to my mind. I read novels. I like to write poetry. Painting portraits is one of my hobbies. Now I have to modify them. Now notice that read and write are what? In the present simple tense. Read is in the present simple tense. To write is the infinitive. Painting portraits, I have it here as a noun. Painting here is a noun. Now I have to work something out in order to change these structures or expressions or verbs into parallel structures in my thesis statement. So this is what I wrote. I love reading novels, writing poetry, and painting portraits. Reading is a noun, writing is a noun, painting is a noun. Novels, so reading novels, writing poetry, again another noun, novels, poetry, and painting portraits is another noun. And notice please the punctuation in this sentence. You have to recall what we have studied during the first semester, that when you form a compound sentence, you can just use commas to indicate or to show that you are listing things. So I love reading novels, writing poetry, and this is the coordinator, painting portraits. Sometimes your sentences or the sentences that you think of, the ideas that you think of, should be combined in a complex sentence. And of course you have to make sure all the time that you are presenting or writing a sentence that is well structured, because if the reader reads your thesis statement and was confused about the ideas you are going to discuss, then he will not be attracted to go on reading the rest of the essay. So make sure that your thesis statement is compact and it reflects what is going to be discussed later on. And of course, most importantly, it should be structurally and grammatically correct. Now that we have finished writing the thesis, we will try to think of a proper hook and some connecting information. What is a hook? A sentence or a number of sentences which introduces your essay. And of course, if it's a sentence or a number of sentences, it should have this function of presenting my ideas, starting the discussion which I want to write about in my essay. What does it do? What is its job or function in the essay? It should attract the attention of the reader.